Hello everyone, welcome to this session from today. Together with the Kinex Association, our company Intesis is glad to give you a warm welcome to our presentation related to HVAC control to reduce COVID-19 spread. My name is Maria Elena Cabello, I'm Brand Development Manager in Intesis, and I will be your host for today. Let me introduce you to my colleague, Sofia Oces Moreno, which is our Product Management Director and will be presenting today's content. If you have any question, do not hesitate to write it, and we will take some time at the end of the presentation to discuss about any information that you would like to receive. Please, Sofia, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Maria Elena, and hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be here taking part of this conference. And I think it's a good opportunity not only to present what Maria Elena mentioned, which is we consider the trending topic today, the COVID-19, and the impact that this pandemic has made in how we control air conditioning systems. But before starting, I will take the opportunity of this Kinex conference focused on HVAC solutions to take a tour through the Intesis history and to point out the most relevant milestones. So remember that Intesis was the pioneer company launching the first Kinex gateway able to control direct expansion air conditioning systems. That was in 2005, just 5 years after the Intesis foundation. It was also in 2007 when Intesis joined the Kinex Association and released also the first world's backnet to Kinex interface. After years working in collaboration with the major air conditioning manufacturers and also working with the Kinex technology, we can say that it was around 2013 when we had an established product offering for air conditioning integration and becoming the sector leader and the best partner for the major air conditioning manufacturers. In 2016, the Swedish group HMS acquired Intesis, but we continue working independently until 2020, the last year. At this moment, it was when Intesis got totally integrated into HMS as a business unit of the group and started working under HMS with Intesis as the brand of the products. And the final milestone that I would like to point out is the current situation in 2021. And I think it's one of the most relevant to realize the growth of Intesis in the last 20 years, having today a total of 35 consolidated Kinex products in catalog and more than 700,000 air conditioned units integrated all around the world. And well, knowing now better the history of Intesis, here's some key information about HMS Group. With head office in Halmstad, Sweden, HMS count with around 700 employees, offices in 16 countries, and partners in over 50 more. Considering our file, the Industrial Information and Communication Technology, we have a clear innovation focus in technologies such as 5G, smart grid, or artificial intelligence. Taking into consideration the singularity of the last year, 2020, we happily closed the year with 146 million of euro sales and define a clear objective for 2025 to reach the number P, 3.14 billions of Swedish krona and an operating margin of 20%. And well, we are Intesis. We keep being Intesis and we keep our strengths in all the developments of the new products we have in the roadmap. What are these strengths? How we can define them? Well, the first one is energy efficiency. You know that costs related to HVAC systems in a building are one of the highest. So controlling those systems becomes one of the most significant efforts for energy savings. Easy to use. We carefully specify our solutions to be easy to set up and ensuring in this way a successful integration in any case. The reliability is the base in the most important thing in all our developments, and is based in years of experience in the sector of building automation and working in collaboration with the AC manufacturers. And finally, the scalability. I can say that we can offer or we have a full range of products, and we offer solutions to fit any specific requirement regardless the project or budget limitation. And well, coming into the trendy topic, the COVID-19 and the main topic of this presentation, we all know that this pandemic is having a huge impact in many aspects of our day-to-day life. The effects are changing the way we live, the way we communicate, and the way we work with nowadays the home office at the forefront. So one of the consequences of COVID-19 is also affecting directly to our business. We now need to think new ways of installing and using air conditioning systems, as well as the ways we will integrate them into home or building automation systems. We all know so previously, all the focus on the building automation control was done to reach some energy efficiency and to improve the comfort of the building. But now the focus is mainly on how to prevent the spreading of the COVID and also to be ready for future ones, for future virus that can appear. So, as I mentioned, we see a clear change in the center of the attention. In professional and commercial sector, the focus is the need of clean air and the importance of ventilation, comfort and energy saving being the most relevant factors until now move to the background. In residential sectors, as I mentioned, with home office becoming an alternative to reduce the direct contact at work, home automation projects are presenting a growing demand. We spend more time, many hours at home, and therefore, in this case and for this sector, we need more comfort and, of course, more energy savings in our homes. So what is needed to have a proper air conditioning control that helps to reduce the virus, the spread of this COVID-19? The first and more important is to grant the access to air conditioning systems from a building automation or home automation system. And it's Intesis who provides reliable interfaces for the major air conditioning brands that grant this access to the air conditioning systems. The integration of heat recovery units and also purifiers, it's also a must nowadays as well. They are systems that will provide clear air to the buildings. But when the installation of those is not reachable, a mechanical ventilation is such an important thing. Then we need to include sensors to measure the air quality and to have control of the building occupancy. Finally, the maintenance of the AC systems and the filter status become more important than ever. So getting preventive alarms from the AC system is also a must today. What are Intesis recommendations about today's use of air conditioning systems? Here we can see some of them. Okay, we advise to keep the fan speed as the lowest speed to reduce the distance that the COVID droplets can travel in a specific area or around the building. If the air conditioning systems installed does not include a recovery of fresh air, we advise to turn off the units as soon as heating or cooling are not needed. As mentioned, keep the filters clean and generate notifications in the Kinex system to have this under control. When possible, use or install heat recovery ventilations and make the best use of them, providing presence information by Kinex detectors. If manual ventilation is required, we can also advise to include some Kinex actuators to schedule a periodic window opening from the BMS. And finally, we advise to avoid also the direct flow of the air pointing directly to the people. Okay. So thanks to Intesis' full range of Kinex interfaces, all these measures required to avoid COVID spread are possible. We grant access to the AC unit and the proper integration with external Kinex sensor and actuators. Here a small presentation of our KNX solutions. We do offer one-to-one solutions for small and medium projects, but also solutions for bigger commercial buildings where a proper BRF system control is required. Along the history of Intesis, we work and collaborate with the major AC air conditioning manufacturers to provide the most reliable solutions. This, together with our experience in Kinex technology, remember that when we made the tour in Intesis history, I mentioned the development of the first Kinex interface for air conditioning in 2005. So we have a huge experience in both areas, the Kinex protocol and technology and the air conditioning side. So I can say that Intesis is your best guarantee. Entering more in detail on Intesis AC interfaces offering, we do offer one-to-one interface. So from one gateway, you can control one single air conditioning unit. And we have three types of interfaces, the ones we see here now in the presentation. The wired ones that offer total bidirectional communication and therefore information of alarms, errors, but also information of some internal variables of the AC unit. And then we also have the infrared one that, of course, doesn't have a real bidirectional communication. But however, in addition of having an infrared receptor, it also have an infrared receiver, being capable of receive any change made by the user via the AC remote controller. in this way, the Kinex monitoring site will be always synchronized with the real status of the AC unit. And we can say that we offer a kind of bidirectional communication too. On the other hand, we offer multiple indoor unit gateways with direct connection to the VRF outdoor units. And in this way, we offer not only the full control of the indoor units, but also monitoring some of the internal variables of the outdoor unit. These are the proper and most cost-effective solution for bigger projects. And to finalize with this presentation and putting the focus again in how to prevent this COVID-19 virus, I would like to have a look in how we can implement some of the COVID prevention measures that I have mentioned before in the presentation, and how we can do this using Intesis interfaces together with a Kinex automation system. The first one is the integration, the control of heat recovery ventilation units. Intesis interfaces, our interfaces, are already compatible with some heat recovery ventilation units of some air conditioning manufacturers. And these units are basically ventilation units that use the return warm air from the inside of the building to preheat the fresh air coming from outside. The two airflows pass one another within the heat recovery unit without mixing physically, but the heat from the extracted air is then transferred to the new fresh air brought from outside and supplied into each room. So we can see here an example of this type of units, and it's quite clear how the warm air is coming inside and mixing in the middle with the fresh air coming from outside, and just there is an interchange between the warm and the fresh, making the fresh air coming from outside hotter, and then putting inside fresh air, but making this heat recovery that is quite necessary in order to keep some energy saving while doing ventilation. So these ventilation systems have been always so beneficial, but nowadays become very important to reach a proper ventilation in any type of building to spread the COVID-19. And adding also a present detector in the Kinex site will allow the proper control of these systems to avoid COVID, but making them work full fan speed when the presence is detected by this Kinex presence detector, and to reduce to the minimum while no presence is detected in the building. When these ventilation units are not installed, mechanical ventilation will be required. So that means basically open the building window periodically. To reach a proper air quality, the ventilation should be scheduled, including, for example, Kinex actuators to open and close the windows, and setting up a daily schedule that will control this from the Kinex side will ensure a proper ventilation that nowadays is really important to avoid this COVID-19. Additionally, thanks to the Intesis Kinex interface with binary inputs, we can monitor the window status, and it will be so easy to switch off the air conditioning during the ventilation process. even nowadays is not the main goal, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, this action will bring some energy saving to the building owners. Another of the measures that we can easily reach with Intesis interfaces is the maintenance of the air conditioning units. To keep the filters clean become such an important task within the buildings to avoid the COVID-19 spread. So with Intesis interfaces, any error or alarm will be provided to the Kinex management system, allowing to building owner to perform a preventive maintenance. And finally, here are some other important actions that can be easily applied by using Intesis interfaces. We do have implementing some air clean modes, and we are nowadays working on adding some innovative ones that our partners, the AC manufacturers, have recently developed and included in their systems. To fix the air conditioning flow to avoid pointing directly to people is, well, so easy thing. But also thanks to Intesis interfaces, the building owner will be able to block the control of the vane's position, and in this way to avoid anyone to change this prefix position of the vanes. And finally, turn off the air conditioning unit where there is no demand of heating or cooling, and having a Kinex thermostat controlling the system, we can program to switch off the AC as soon as the set point is reached. That is for sure not the best way to control an air conditioning unit, but in the situation we are living now, will avoid to have non-fresh air recirculation when it's really not needed. Okay. And well, that's all from my side. Now I will give again the turn to Maria Elena, who will finalize the presentation. And I would like to thank all of you for your time, and hope to see you soon, and hopefully in direct contact, not through the screen.
Of course, Sophia. Well, thank you very much for pointing out all the different things that system integrators or home and building automation companies can do to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 virus, hoping that we can get back to normality very soon, and also how Intesis can help them in this process. I found your presentation very interesting, and I would like to thank you also for joining us today. And I have a couple of comments more regarding our company and our contact. I wanted to mention that we have a free e-learning platform that you can access from our website, where you will find information related to different protocols in home and building automation, but also related to market trends and about the different products that we have. You will find a lot of information there, so you can dig into more deep knowledge about Intesis and what we do. And also, well, to let you know that you can always contact us through our website. We have available the contact tab where you can type in your details and ask any questions related to our solutions or to any other requirement. And there is a chat box in the website where you can also talk and discuss with our commercial team any of the subjects that you were interested in. So I think that will be all for today. I want to thank you all again for joining this session and for being connected to Kinex and to Intesis solution. And well, now I think it's time to go to the questions and answers.